The first thing Dottie saw when she opened the door was Grandpa Walter and the chock-full-o'-nuts can. Dottie was not expecting to see Grandpa Walter, much less the chock-full-o'-nuts can. It had been 2 months since she had seen either of them, and remembering that day always made her feel like she had swallowed an alligator. Nothing against alligators, but swallowing one did not feel good. "Mom!" Dottie shouted. "Grandpa Walter's here." "Walter? Your grandfather?" Dottie's mom shouted back.
"What other Walter do you know?"
Grandpa Walter hollered from the doorway. He had to lean around Dottie because she hadn't budged. It wasn't that she wanted to block him from coming inside. It was shock that made her body stop working. The shock was from the disbelief that of all the days Grandpa Walter might appear, he chose today. Most Thursday afternoons were not exciting. Most Thursday afternoons were simply the day after Wednesday and the day before Friday. But this one was different. This one had a plan. An important plan. In fact, the plan was so important that Dottie could call it a mission. "Mission," Dottie whispered to herself. Why hadn't she thought of calling it a mission sooner? Sam would like that word. Now that Dottie thought about it, Ima would like that word too. And considering how important Ima was to the plan, mission, it was nice to think that she was happy. Dottie's mom rushed over, slipped past Dottie, and swept Grandpa Walter into a hug. "Walter, you should have told us you were coming."
"I wanted to surprise you,"
Grandpa Walter said. "Well, you did," Dottie's mom replied, laughing. This was Grandpa Walter's first visit without Ima. Of course, in a way, Ima was with him, just in a really different way. Dottie eyed the chock-full-o'-nuts can and tried to swallow the alligator down. Dottie's mom asked, "Does Frank know you're here?" Frank was Dottie's dad and Grandpa Walter's son.
"I wanted to surprise him, too,"
Grandpa Walter said. "He will be surprised." Dottie's mom smiled and nodded. Dottie didn't mind who Grandpa Walter surprised as long as he didn't interfere with her plan. "I mean mission," Dottie said under her breath as Grandpa Walter walked into the house, bringing the chock-full-o'-nuts can with him. "Dottie," her mom said, "bring Grandpa Walter's suitcase upstairs, will you? I'm going to call your dad." Dottie's dad was at the bakery where he worked. The alligator was still squirming around in Dottie's neck, so she only managed to squeak and nod, which was good enough for Dottie's mom. Before picking up the suitcase, Dottie stuck her head outside. No sign of Sam Batty. That was a relief. Dottie didn't want to be late for the first day of her mission. By the time Dottie reached the stairs, Grandpa Walter was already halfway up them. A second later, though, he stumbled and tripped. This was not unusual for Grandpa Walter. He was a born klutz. He said so himself. He spilled food, broke glasses, fell off chairs, dropped plates, and he couldn't catch a ball to save his life. Ima found it charming. That's what she said every time. "Walter, you are charming." And Grandpa Walter would smile a tiny crooked smile that showed how much he loved being charming to Ima. And then he would say, "If I wasn't a klutz, we never would have met." This was true. Dottie knew the story by heart because Ima loved telling it. And every time Ima got to the part where Grandpa Walter dumped spaghetti bolognese all over her, she would laugh so hard she would snort. Ima loved to laugh. Ima always ended the story by saying, "Worst waiter, best husband."